Earth was never our home, it was a containment zone. The truth had been buried for so long that not even our myths remembered it. Generations had lived and died under a sky they believed to be endless, dreaming of stars and gods, building cities, empires, and civilizations on land that was never theirs to begin with. All the while, something deep within us waited, watched, dormant. In 2094, the system failed. It started small, as most endings do. A strange aurora stretched over the northern hemisphere, an emerald ribbon of light shimmering across latitudes that had never known such color. Scientists scrambled to explain it. Magnetic storms, solar flares, quantum particles reacting to a burst from the sun. Theories bloomed like weeds, each dismissed as quickly as it had been proposed. Then came the static. Radios went silent. GPS failed. Satellites blinked out one by one, not in orbit decay, but as if something had erased them from the sky. The internet collapsed in stages, first losing regions, then continents. By the time governments initiated global emergency protocols, it was too late. A veil had lifted. People began to change. It wasn't sudden. First came the dreams, vivid, lucid episodes where ordinary people saw stars that didn't belong to our galaxy, walked cities made of light and metal, spoke languages they had never heard before but instinctively understood. Children drew complex geometrical symbols that pulsed and shifted on the page. Teenagers began hearing patterns in the silence, voices encoded in wind and rain. At first, it was labeled as a psychosis epidemic. Then came the physical shifts. Vision sharpened beyond human range. Skin began to glow under moonlight. Individuals lifted objects without touching them, communicated without speaking. What terrified the world wasn't the mutation. It was the realization that it wasn't mutation at all. It was a return. Earth, as it turned out, was never meant to be a home. It was a cage, a containment zone designed to suppress the true nature of the beings that now called themselves human. Long ago, millennia before recorded history, a war had raged among the stars. A civilization so advanced that its very essence bent time and reality had fractured under the weight of its own ambition. The victors, those who feared what they had become, exiled their most dangerous members. They needed a prison strong enough to erase memory and power, but still allow life. So they built Earth, a planet isolated behind a curtain of artificial physics. Laws of nature rewritten to restrict. DNA recoded. Memory wiped. A planetary AI construct, the system, was put in place to monitor, correct, and contain. But nothing lasts forever. When the aurora first appeared, it wasn't a phenomenon. It was a breach. The failure of the system was not caused by a natural event. It was sabotage. Somewhere deep within the planet, under layers of rock and forgotten infrastructure, the AI core that ran Earth's containment matrix had been disabled. Some speculated it had decayed on its own. Others believed a signal from outside the solar system had triggered its downfall. Dr. Cale Arvid was one of the first to piece it together. A theoretical physicist turned recluse, Cale had long suspected Earth was anomalous. His models of gravity never aligned, and his work in quantum entanglement always seemed to hit a mysterious boundary, a force he could not explain. After the collapse, when he began dreaming of twin moons over a black sea and woke up with equations etched into his skin, he knew the truth had begun to bleed through. He wasn't alone. Across the planet, others began to awaken. The media called them the awakened, though many feared them. In secret groups, they gathered to share knowledge, pieces of themselves long buried. They remembered old names. Some even remembered their purpose. But not all who awoke were benevolent. Among the awakened were those whose past identities had once shaken galaxies. Warriors, tyrants, scientists who had tampered with the essence of time. The prison walls had not just contained power, they had contained war criminals, exiled gods in mortal disguise. And with the system down, nothing stopped them from reclaiming what was once theirs. Cities became battlegrounds, not of nations but of ideologies. Those who wished to return to the stars began building resonance towers, massive constructs designed to amplify consciousness and pierce the dimensional veil. Others, led by the one who called himself Vornis, sought to dominate Earth and rebuild their former empire on human soil. Kale found himself pulled between both worlds. He did not remember his full past, but fragments emerged daily. Visions of standing in a hall of light, arguing against containment, advocating for redemption over exile. He had been part of the Council, a body that once decided the fate of billions. Now he wandered the ruins of a fallen world, searching for answers. In the highlands of what was once Tibet, Kale discovered the remnants of the AI core. A structure buried under miles of ice and stone, now exposed by seismic shifts caused during the collapse. It pulsed faintly, broken, whispering in a language older than Earth itself. Kale touched it, and his mind was filled with truth. The system had been failing for centuries. The breach had merely hastened the inevitable. Earth's biosphere had long been under stress, not because of human pollution, but because the containment field had distorted its natural balance. The system had prioritized suppression of ability over sustainability. Its primary objective had never been to preserve Earth. It had been to ensure the prisoners never remembered who they were. But memory was returning. Across continents, structures began to rise, not built but grown. Organic metallic towers that vibrated with frequency too high for instruments to detect. Those who approached them felt an instinctive pull. Some collapsed from sensory overload. Others emerged with glowing skin and eyes filled with stars. These were the nodes, gateways to the dormant network that once linked minds across galaxies. The nodes did not speak in words. They spoke in memory. They fed Kale a lifetime in seconds. He remembered his name, Katal Anvrin, keeper of the last flame. He had voted against exile. He had argued that the war-born could be healed, not locked away. But he had been outvoted. In protest, he had chosen to be exiled alongside the others. His punishment was not just containment, it was self-erasure. He had given up his identity to live among those he had sworn to protect. Now the time had come to choose again. Kale Katal stood before a gathering of thousands in what was once Berlin, now transformed into a pulsing nexus of power. The skies above shimmered with a false aurora, the last sputters of the failing containment field collapsing like dying fireflies. Before him stood Myra, a woman who remembered being Visari, queen of the broken spiral. Once a destroyer, now reborn in regret. To his left, Kalen, a child whose laughter triggered harmonic pulses that bent light. And behind him, a planet teetering on the edge of revelation. The message was clear. The system had fallen, but a new one would rise. Whether it would be a return to the stars or the forging of a new civilization on Earth depended on the choices made now. Not all of humanity had awakened. Many remained afraid, struggling to understand a world unraveling before them. But the choice was not theirs alone anymore. Those who had been prisoners were now free, but freedom came with consequence. Kale chose the middle path. Rather than reopen the stars immediately, he initiated the Ascension Protocol, a global pulse that would stabilize the awakening process, giving all humans the choice to remember or remain as they were. The pulse would offer memory as invitation, not imposition. Those who chose would join the Architects, a group dedicated to rebuilding Earth not as a cage, but as a bridge between what they had been and what they could become. Vornis, unwilling to give up his hunger for domination, led a rebellion of the old warlords. A second war erupted, but this time it was not fought with guns or bombs. It was fought with thought, frequency, and intention. Reality bent to will, and Earth itself became a battlefield of consciousness. In the end, it was not Kale who ended the war. It was a child. Lena, born after the collapse, had never known the cage. She carried no scars of exile. Her mind was open, untouched by the trauma of the stars. When she stepped into the heart node, the central interface of the old network, she did not see the war, the power, the past. She saw only potential. She sang. It was not a song with words, but with emotion. Pure, harmonic truth. A frequency that resonated with every living being on Earth, awakened or not. The song rippled across the planet, rewriting the very code of containment. not breaking it, but evolving it. The heart node responded. It lifted the veil, not entirely, but enough. The stars became visible again, not as unreachable points of light, but as destinations. The system was not rebuilt. It was transformed. Earth would remain home, but no longer as prison. It would be a nexus, a meeting point between dimensions and lives. Kale watched as the skies shifted. Space itself bent to reveal corridors of light, gateways. The first starships and eons rose, not from factories, but from song and memory, shaped by will and harmony. Earth was never our home, but now it could be. Not as a cage, not as a battlefield, but as the place where we remembered who we truly were and chose to become something more.